All right, let's start with Tandolwe 2. Tandolwe 2, good evening.
Evening, Braden. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, Braden. Um, I think I'll come in on a number of issues that were at court today
Yes.
regarding um the food issue. To me, one, if you remember, I said I was once an FC with this, which is a further charge, which is Bester is a further charge now. That's what he is. So being detained, he's a FC. So a further charge normally have their own session, you understand, where they stay. Yeah. So these are the people who are attending court on any basis that maybe is, for example, that means a case came up, or maybe you've been convicted for one case and you're still attending another case. So that's where the further charge people would be. So his lawyer was not accurate in that, because the other guys are normal remands. So those guys eat at court. Bester doesn't eat in court. Bester eats or gets his food from prison, which is if he's traveling that distance, provision will be made for Bester depending on his diet. Each offender has a diet in prison, Pratin. So that means him having a diet, or for his diabetic, or if he was HIV, or someone who has TB, that means those people get a special diet. A special diet would include most probably an apple. Instead of him getting 2 slices of bread, you get 4. Instead of getting rama, you get peanut butter. And then you would get there's this small thing that they use in prison. It's almost like a juice sort of a thing. So he will get those things. So there's a special diet for him. So there is no way that he would leave prison without those things. Provision given that he has a special diet, and therefore if he leaves one prison to the next, he would be given that, you know. So him boycotting his own food is his own problem. I don't think that he was not given those things. I've never seen it, even to the most people that make the biggest problems in prison, get their food regardless. And then the clothing. The clothing. But then I don't know if you guys know, or if you know, right? So we used to wear in prison, what is this thing? We used to wear green, right? And then it went to orange. When it went to orange, it used to be written on it, prisoner, prisoner. That's what it used to say. Before it became correction, you know. But then that was rectified because a number of prisoners on a national basis went on a strike, and they drafted a petition. And that petition that they drafted to the national said that this thing draws a stigma to them, and they don't like that this thing says prisoner, prisoner. And in that petition, they also drafted the fact that going to prison wearing orange is a problem for them, you know, because there's also this stigma now, you understand, that is carried to society. And the minute that you get into a courtroom wearing orange, it's not nice. And that was discussed among judges and through the NPA, and a certain provision was made for them. And then therefore it was discussed that, okay, guys, to meet you halfway, you guys can wear casual clothing. You understand? So that's where it comes from. That's how the law was relaxed, you know, in those grounds, because someone had cried about it, and it was prisoners that were voicing it out. So him looking for special clothes, it's normal. What he's wearing is fine. He'll get over it. The drama queen, nothing more. And then we've got Sis Nandipha. You know, but in prison, people a person will change religion. I'm talking someone will walk in prison as a Christian. The next minute you meet him after 3 months, he's into Muslim, you know? And then you ask him, "Oh, Chief, what happened?" He says, "No, we found the greater calling." And then 3 months down the line, he becomes a Rastafarian. "Oh, Chief, what is going on?" You understand? So Nandipha playing the Bible thing, it's quite normal, you know? Yeah. So maybe she's just drifting around, you know, trying to find a feet, you know. So she will be fine as well. And then them two not greeting each other is well, it's a tactic. I don't know, or maybe they've been into a fight. I do not know. Yeah, but regarding Bester and his diet, I've traveled from every prison. You don't leave prison without food. There is no head of center that will allow that, regardless of how rebellious you are. Thanks, Pradine.
Thank you, Tandolwe, too, for your insights. Official Minister, good evening, my brother.
Good evening, Aus Brenda. Good evening, Pradeni. Good evening, everyone else. Tandolo too. We owe it to you, my brother. Thanks for that information, especially the first line. You took words from me where you were mentioning that the food comes from correctional service, not police or that. So it is the responsibility of the correctional service to ensure that Bester gets what he needs. Thanks for that insight. We are indebted, my friend. So, Fateni, I told you that this guy doesn't have ching ching. This guy, I know him very well. This guy was traveling in a private jet, Pradeni, and he didn't have ching ching back there. I mean, he used to travel in private jet. When I told people, they said, no, this man is money. With what? When he's owing people that he used their private jet. He's still owing them even today.
Yes.
So this man might have had some cash to go and buy juice in some shop in Sandton, fair enough. But the amount of money that we thought, or many people thought he had, I have always said this is a con man.
Yes.
He can sell you your own phone and you buy it. I'm not going to be long, Pradeni. Tandolo took my point, especially the first one. The second one, I'm very tired, Pradeni. I've been cleaning the streets with one of my friends. We are very tired. We've been cleaning the streets are clean, there is a fresh air. So we have been working very hard. So I'm not going to be long. Someone asked the question in terms of why is Nandipha accused number one, why, and so forth. I remember when one of my friends was charged and he was accused number one. I asked why is he accused number one, because he was not the leader of the ring. I thought they named the number one is the big boss, number two in that sequence. But I came to realize that day that in fact the sequence of numbering or naming accused 1, 2, 3 is based on the legal documents in terms of how their names appear. And one of such document, it can be how they are charged. So if you are first one to be charged, you become accused number one, because that's how it appears in the legal document. So yeah, that is that. My worry with this trial is there are too many accused. I just hope that when we come back, for the what day is that? I think it was the 5th of June. When we come back, the other lawyers will still be there, because it seems like people are getting fired on a regular basis there, and that disturbs the day. For an example, today we are where we are today because some of the lawyers just came in. But let's see. I think that's why the prosecutor asked that question, to say, did they receive financial instructions to ensure that they are committed? But I think that question was premature. Like they have alluded to, we'll see what happens on the 5th of June, but it's still going to be a long way. Mutusi will come and tell us what does financial instructions mean, but what I understand is is when a lawyer is being formally engaged or hired by the client to provide legal services, which means that includes drafting of any other documentation or the legal advice that is going to be given, to say they agree to that. And I think there is a section in I forgot the X that regulates the lawyers. There is a section there that says a lawyer must give you those things and informs you of all the charges and so forth and so on, which is what Muchiako did as well on the other side, to say this is how much it's going to cost you, this is how much you are going to pay, and if ever we are going to need the service of an advocate, and this is how the cost structure will be like. So let's see how it goes. It was a short day. There wasn't anything much, except for people who wanted to put on their Louis Vuitton and Gucci attire when they come to court. But that is neither here nor there. It's not an issue.
Thank you, Official Minister. Brenda, good evening.
Evening, Brady, official, everyone, evening. Yo, guys, you know what I've realized up until today is that prisoners have a lot of rights. They can do anything to manipulate the system. I don't even understand this issue. Bester, not to want to eat and claiming that he's diabetic. I think that, as taxpayers, we really, our money is not spent well, man. I don't know why our prisoners, and I think it's only in South Africa where you see prisoners looking like this. Look at how Nandipha looks so beautiful, Brady. She's gorgeous. And just look at Bester, Brady. Bester, even if he can come up tomorrow, there's going to be another Nandipha.
Yes.
Look at his neck. They are well taking care of these people. And they've got a lot of rights, Bradini. They've got lots and lots of rights. Even, I think, even Hofitarona who are outside. Truly speaking. So, hi, Bradeni. And they today when Nandipha, Nandipha didn't even look at Thabo. I don't know, are they fighting? Or is she angry? Or is she acting? I don't know what's happening, because that love that people were talking about, that fairy tale, I didn't see it today. Is it that maybe it has clicked to her that this is really going on? I don't know, Brady. And even the Bible, but Maybe she has found God. We don't know.
It's
And
possible.
yeah, maybe she has found God and asked for forgiveness. Even
Yes.
if she has Brady, she still has to pay for, you know, everything that she has done.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we'll see when Brady know what will happen. And I don't know. I thought the street will be asking about Bester, Advocate Bester,
Yes.
Prosecutor Bester. Yeah, I thought they will ask as to are they related, but
Yeah.
there was nothing like that. Yeah.
Now, thank you, Brenda. Uh, I think yeah, that one was clarified very early that there's no relation between Advocate Amanda Bester and Thabo Bester. Do time. Good evening.
Good evening, Pradi, House Brenda, Official Minister, and the family as a whole. Na ke tlo thoma ka hore, what kind of a lawyer doesn't know the difference between a magistrate and a judge? Yeah, saying you worship at all times and people laughing in the background. I mean, it was just a bloody giveaway to show that Thabo Bester is in a dilemma right now.
Yes.
He mentioned Mshororo at one stage back at the magistrate courts in Bloemfontein. So I believe the attitude of her raising, the attitude of him raising hands, he got it from Miss Mshololo. That remember that you've got rights and everything and what so forth. I'm just insinuating that because of right now Mshololo is nowhere to be seen. I was hoping to see her being part of the what you call the team that is going to defend this nine what you call accused. And Ihela Nega sister now is going away bit by bit, even though she can read Bible. I mean, you can see that she's stressed to the core. And Lento Gutibaya and Thabo Bester is not there at all. Remember that the prosecutor at one stage did mention their lovey-dovey relationship after she claimed on the affidavit that she submitted through her lawyers that she was kidnapped. Remember, now you're trying to prove the story of kidnapping,
Yes.
and you can't prove the story of kidnapping whilst you are playing the lovey-dovey with the person who kidnapped you.
Yes.
But it's too late. It's too late right now for her to be able to play that because those things are on record, and they can still be pulled to be shown to the court. And the dad as well, and looking at him, for me, that is one of the awkward moments that I've ever got to realize, to say to see a father, encouraging a girl as successful as she was, to say that you can go ahead, my daughter, and rescue a rapist, take him out of jail, and we'll live a soft life. I mean, abanye abazali sometimes, yeah, they can be dramatic. And look where he is, where she is right now, and where he is as an old man as well. I mean, I don't feel sorry for this, but I heard the prosecutor saying that they've got a lot of witnesses, and most of the things that they put to the defense team, they denied them. So I'm asking myself, what is it that they're denying? Because for a fact, Thabo Bester did escape in prison. That we know for a fact. But we cannot say that it's a fact that he was held by Nandipha Magudumana and the co-accused. It is still alleged at that point. And we still the state still needs to prove it in court. But to say that we're going to last there for 6 months, I didn't understand why 6 months. But anyway, there are a lot of in the back of my mind it came back to say that there's a lot of accused there, none of them. Hence, it might be able to take that long time. But as Ms. Brenda said, these people are well looked after in prison. I mean, Thabo Bester want to wear blueberry shirts, Louis Vuitton shirts, so that he can show us that we are nothing outside. Thina labasebenza each and every day sivukayo sihasila tsoga ka 6 o'clock ummereko nke 7 o'clock. Yena o dutse ko toronkong kwale, he can run a company being motsepe in LA while he's in Mangaung. Dilo tsa mofuta o mo jwalo. So o try ho bontsha batho eng, because of now people are going to be looking at this, and we don't want the next generation to idolize batho ba go tshwana le bo Thabo Bester le bo Dr. Nandipha Magudumana. They should be seen for who they are and for the wrong that they did, especially to Nandipha. I mean, the women that Thabo raped what does it say about her as a woman? It's a
Yes.
shame, actually. That's one shame that she will never get out of for the rest of her life. So thank you very much, Pradeni. Mina, I can't wait for the fourth. Actually, that's where I'm waiting to see our case, finishing up, wrapping up, so that we can clean the streets again, Mr. Official Minister, with
Yeah.
these guys that are all
Man.
making noise that is so unnecessary. Yeah, we need to clean the streets with those guys and show them that we are heading the right direction with that case. And in that note, yeah, good evening to everybody. And we're still going to continue supporting the live. Thank you, Brady.
Thank you, Dotai. Good evening, Mutusi. You finally got your name back.
Dumela. For a change, I don't have to explain myself to anyone. Hey, Braden, I will never play with this thing again. You know, when I when I got it back,
Yes.
I was like, what if it's no longer available? Because I didn't know that it's just a nickname. Anybody can use it. I was like, what if it's no longer available? Because I've also tried to change. I need to change my handle.
Yes.
It's saying too much. I need to change that. Good evening to everyone. What happened today, it's a process of law. All cases, once a person is arrested, let's start there. Once a person is arrested, they appear in a district court. And then the matter would be postponed many times for investigations to proceed. I'm actually very impressed at the investigating team in this matter because they did very well. We didn't get too many postponements. They covered a lot of things at a very short space of time. Then the matter gets transferred to the regional court. Thank you very much, Ms. T. The matter gets transferred to the High Court in this instance.
Yes.
Now, when a matter gets transferred to the High Court, thank you, Elirash, they type what we call an indictment, the prosecution. Now, in that indictment, they do the following. The indictment will say, these are the accused that we're going to charge. This is the court where they are going to appear. These are the dates that are anticipated for this trial. The trial is expected to start on this day and to end on this day. This is the list of the witnesses that we are going to use as the prosecution. And then there's going to be a page or two where they summarize the facts that they want to prove, a summary of the charges. That's an indictment. So they get that at the district court level already. When the matter gets transferred, the legal representatives know exactly what they are going to look for when they get to the High Court. Now, when you get to the High Court and it's pre-trial conference, before the pre-trial conference, the state will furnish. Remember, we spoke about what Downtown was speaking about now, to say they are denying a lot of things that the state had put to them. It's those summary of facts. If they had agreed to a lot that the state has put, it would reduce the number of witnesses that they need to call. They got this thing before today. A pre-trial conference date was set electronically via emails. When they get to court, they must then say, okay, we are agreeing to this and that and that and that and that. Then the number of witnesses go down, or they even mention it at that point, or we are going to have a problem with the admissibility of this and this and this and this. And then the number of witnesses may go up, depending on whether it's witnesses whose statements are already there or not. The copy of the docket gets provided to the legal representative before today. So before today's proceedings, they already knew exactly what is going to happen there. They know now which witnesses are going to be called. The witnesses may not be called in the order that the indictment says, but they know exactly that when they say Danny is the next witness, they know exactly what Danny will say because they've got Danny's statement already. The prosecutor asked what you said, a very important question. Do you have money to start the trial? They are supposed to say, for the days that you, the clerk or the registrar, has said, the matter has said down, we have been paid for the 10 days or 15 days or 20 days. And if we haven't been paid, then the pre-trial conference should not proceed. It must be postponed for payments to be done. And if it happens that they are unable to pay all this time and they are unable to afford legal representation from private services, then they must apply for legal aid. Like it's going to happen to this Moyo guy, unless if they've got an attorney for him or a legal representative for him already. Everybody was asking why are we not seeing Mshololo there? Mshololo may appear on trial. It may be that the person that was sent there was the one who was just there to go stand in for that person, for Mshololo or for whoever is going to actually represent Mr. Bester on the day of the trial. We're talking about a matter that is going to take a very long time. Preparations are going to be made. We all know that Zandile is still busy with the other case and hoping also to be available for this one or whatever the case may be. I'm actually very disappointed at the legal representative of accused number 9 at how he was addressing the court. You cannot at high court level call a person who's wearing a red gown your worship. That's not how they are called. And he said it so many times, but I'm impressed with the maturity of the judge in not exposing him and telling him, hey, the rules here are saying you must call me my lord, because that's how they are called at the high court. Bradeni, Nandipha Hassan Chama, guys. She's gone. She's gone. The hairline is gone. She's no longer that smiley anymore. So we will be fine, Shem. We will survive. And I cannot wait for this trial to begin so that we have something else to look at. You see, when you get charmed by beauty, Bradeni, when it fades away, you also fade away.
Yes.
Sharp.
Thank you, Mutuzi. Well, I wanted to ask you, Mutuzi, this thing of legal representative making a mistake of addressing the judges as your worship, is it not because those are the guys who practice mostly at district and regional courts? I think it could be because they are used to appearing before magistrate more than appearing before the high courts.
Some of what you said, it is true. It is because they are appearing mostly in front of magistrates. But now remember, in the district and regional court, it's magistrates, so they are called your worships.
Yes.
And that, okay, if you are a politician, you would also call speakers sometimes your worship at parliament or at legislature level of either a municipality or something. They are also called your worships. Yeah. No, thank you, Braden. You are correct in that.
Yeah, thank you. Boss lady, good evening.
Good evening, Abudeni guy.
Guy.
Everything, yes, man. I'm struggling here, so it's the first time that I'm being live. I don't know how to mute, but yeah. Pardon?
I'm saying, Askis, you will get there. You'll figure it out.
I shall get there. Hey, yeah, but I guess Batlang Walamodi commenting what to do so that I can mute.
Before you speak, boss lady, let's try it. Look at the bottom of your screen. There's something that looks like a microphone. Can you see that?
Oh, that one. Yes, I can.
Just press it and press it again. Let's see. Yes. Press it again.
Yeah, Lebona Letshwao.
Yeah, you see, that's how you mute and unmute.
Okay. Yes.
Alright. Ke re ka tseno re bone motlholo shem ka taba ya Bester. Batho ba lela ho tswa. Batho ba tlhokofetse, but Bester is complaining about his clothes, about the meal, about phone calls. Ke matsapa shem re tshwere ha boima hle. Yo re tshwere boima hle. And then ke bona le Nandipha ha ba boledisane. I'm not sure if the relation, we are not sure if the relationship if fedile or the friendship if fedile or has expired. Kamo there's a new ke bona there's a new attorney or representative here, ya Bester, of which they haven't communicated, and I don't understand because of Ufitla Mola. I don't know, he's been a lawyer for for how long. Ha Fitla Mola complain ka taba ya hore client ya high ba mo hanetsa ka diaparo. I mean, like, Bester is a convicted person. Why should Atle Tronkong appear his services or Onyako show offer the designer clothes or what? I really don't understand. I believe like taba ya prosecutor bolela hore no man. Why should Hutlo entertainer taba ya Bester ya dijo because of his under correctional services? Haja, but like abakaslo mtisa diaparo o nyako treatwa special le ka taba ya diaparo tsa high hore why tshwantse correctional mokethele diaparo. So yeah, no, it was not on. Hey, it was not on. Ke bona kare o worried, or maybe Bester is watching too much TV now. He wants to practice dilo tsa di bonang ko ntle overseas or something now. He wants to implement them, or he wants to show off the level of power or money of the connection that he has. Go court, I don't know. Eish. But ke tla ba teng, but dilo tse dintsi man, there were red flags, man, especially ka attorney ya high hore ba tlhakana in the morning ha ba itsane o fitla mo tlo go fa di instructions, and o lebetse hore client ya high is being convicted. A se motho fela a tshwane le ba bang ba di federal charges, of which they are still under SAPS. Bona ba di kry dijo maybe ka Tuesday or Thursday somewhere hona mo. Yena sa high o lebetse ke taba tsa tronkong, a no ja dijo tsa tronkong, a fiwe dijo tsa dijiwang, ha ona special treatment that lo e kry-ang. That's why I think Bester is watching too much TV. Yes, that's all. And then when others do comment, I would do.
Thank you, boss lady. And boss lady, next time when you come on the panel, either speak Tswana one way or Spedi, whatever language you speak, or speak, because you can speak English. I can hear you. If you mix Venek and English, you make it difficult for me to translate to people that cannot hear, because you speak 3 words in English, 2 words in Venek, so that makes it complicated for a person like me. I doubt even Mr. Jonas would be able to translate those kind of submissions in mixed languages. The rule here is that we prefer, thank you Tulane, we prefer English, but if you want to speak Venek, it's okay, but be short when you speak Venek so that we can translate. But I think for those who couldn't hear, guys, most of the things that she said in Venek, she also said them in English, that People have died, but people like guys like Thabo Bester, they want to be given special treatment, citing all the things that Thabo Bester listed today, the issue of food, the issue of clothes. The question is, does he want to be treated like a special case, which is not supposed to be the case because he is a convicted prisoner, so he cannot get the same treatment as other people or other awaiting trial prisoners would get. So that's basically the summary of what Boss Lady said for those who could not hear. And for those who still be coming, guys, remember, we prefer English so that we can all hear. But if you want to speak Venek, stick to Venek that we can hear and be short so that we can do justice to the translation. Tandolo, do you want to say something?
Yes, Brother, please.
No problem.
I think there's still a bit of confusion in some people, né, in terms of this diet issue. I heard someone there saying that why is Bester not getting his diet and whatever.
Yes.
I had two accusers that Bradin. These guys were also masters of deception. Every time when we went to court, they believed a lot in kumkhulu, you know. So every time when they would get into court and they would see that umkhulu is not there, and then they will ask for a phone from some of the guys, and then they will get a phone, and then they will phone Kulu, will say, no, I'm on my way, I'm stuck somewhere. So in order for them to buy time, they would play this diet thing, you know. First thing, when we get inside, they approach the lawyer, and then the lawyer will try and speak to the prosecutor or to the judge, and then inform them that can these guys at least wait so that they can get food. So it was a delay tactic there. It was a delay tactic also in prison. So what they used to do when we were in prison, if they wanted something and they were not getting it, they would play the diabetic type of a trick, you know. So that, but anyhow, it's the correctional service officials, they know about this. But anyhow, another thing here, the clothing thing of Bester, right? Bester as if you go into prison, you cannot walk in with a sport bag, right? That means you do not have a wardrobe there waiting for you so that you can place your clothes. There's no wardrobe there. So what will therefore be accepted? If you are arrested, your sport bag will be accepted, and then they will be told that your people need to come and fetch these things. Anyhow, they will be placed into your property, right? Your property will hold these things. Now your property is where this becomes the wardrobe now. But this wardrobe is at reception at the correctional service, right? So the clothes will be kept there. What is allowed to carry inside the prison is 2 vests, 2 socks, 2 underwears, you understand? Maybe a shorts, pajama, yeah. But the correctional services used to provide these things before. But because of the budget was cut because of the number, because now we see that the overpopulation in prison and all of that. And in between there, you'll have corruption and whoever ate the money. So therefore, these things, they don't get it anymore. So you'll be allowed these things, 2 vests, 2 socks, and whatever. So what he's requesting for, when he says he wants his clothes, he wants his sport bag. He wants access to that sport bag so that he can get his clothes that he wants. But here's the nice thing about him accessing that, because when he goes to reception, this is where, if they give him the opportunity, that's what I'm saying, correctional service officials are aware of this. If he's given the opportunity to go to reception, he gets bigger communication. Now his communication will expand, because as far as I know, he's in single cells, which is basically. He's in single cells. So if he goes all the way up to reception, that means he can communicate with a lot of people. Now the biggest crooks in prison are the ones that are working at the reception, because they carry the message, you understand, from one platform to the other, you understand, from one section to the other, so that's what he wants. I think he's not requesting for clothes just only so that he can look good. So the other thing that he's requesting for, he wants bigger access, because there are people that has been cut from, that he needs communication to, because of now his movement is restricted. I don't think Bester has the best communication right now. I don't think that. No, it's impossible, virtually impossible. But anyhow, one could dispute that. So what he wants this. And therefore, because he cannot get it, but when people say, I heard this when I came out recently, people are saying, hey, they are Goa. Hey, they are Goa. In prison, there's no such thing. There's something higher than Goa there. There you knock your head against the wall, but then up until you cannot feel it. You understand? So he's frustrated, one. Two, because of things that have been cut away from him. Three, the phone that he talks about. He cannot make a call on a Tuesday. No, that doesn't work like that. So you can call between Saturday and Sunday, right? He knows this. If there's a special request for a phone, that means he can get a phone call of 15 minutes in the week, which means he must write a report requesting for that to whoever are the officials working at that time. You understand? So he writes the report, and then if the permission is granted, he can get the 15 minutes to his lawyer. If it goes much further than that, that means he might request to see his lawyer, which is also, he can be provided that, but it will count towards his visitation, because you must remember, each one, we get 42 visits per year. So if his lawyer comes in today, which is Wednesday, we subtract one, which means the lawyer cannot stay there for 5 hours. That lawyer can stay there for an hour, because his visit is an hour. Yeah.
Thank you for that clarity, Tandolo too. Debugs, good evening. You can unmute your microphone.
Okay, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Sir, I just want to say I don't blame Thabo Bester for complaining about food and clothes and everything, because he's been getting this opportunity for a long time. Now he thought these things are lawfully. He didn't understand. But now he's facing the reality that he must follow the right procedure in prison. So that is why he was complaining. All they have to do is they have to just to sit down with him and explain to him that the things that he has been getting before, they were unlawfully, because he was eating the food from restaurants, he was wearing the LV clothes, and he was doing all those things. Those benefits were illegal actually, because there's a procedures that must be followed in prisons. There's a uniform that you must wear when you go to court, and the reason for the uniform is to identify, so that you cannot be able to escape. There's some other reasons as well. And then if he's complaining about the food, okay, the food, they will give you the food that you prefer, especially when it's got the high blood or whatever it's got. And then he can go and request from the person who's in charge in the prison. They will give me the right food. But now the thing is, he cannot go and complain about that in court, because prison is something else different. It's prison and court is something different. He was supposed to request that from prison, but court cannot change what the prison is doing. Thabo Bester must understand he was getting the privileges, unlawfully privileges. Now he's facing the really prison, and he must understand it. He cannot be wanted to be special, because it's not there. I don't know what can I say. That's all I wanted to say, sir.
Thank you, Debugs. Okay, guys, let's check if there's anybody on the queue.
Brad,
Yes, Brenda.
Oh, I didn't hear them saying anything about the 1.5 million valuables. Did he get them? Or was he also lying about those things? Because I think if he didn't get those things, his lawyer should persist that matter.
I doubt if he got them. That is the point that official minister raised sharply, that he's lying about all those things. It was a con
Okay,
strategy. He was trying to
okay.
put that I've got this many millions of friends. I think this is want to come in.
Sis Brenda,
Hello.
if there's a problem with the money, that time Thabo Bester raised this thing. I think he was also informed that that's not the platform where you do it. So he must go and open a case. An investigation must start, and whoever is responsible must then be arrested and be caught, so that they can go and appear in court. There we're talking about his escape and people that assisted him to escape, not things that escaped from him. That's not what they're talking about there. They're talking about they're talking about the events that led to his escape and nothing else. So yeah, I think that matter will not even see light of day at the High Court. Earlier on, I wanted to speak about the numbering of accused persons.
Yes.
It depends entirely on who is arrested before who. If you are the first one to be arrested, you are going to be accused number one. And unfortunately, if you are accused number one, it's going to be State versus Mutusi and others. And Thabo Bester is number 9. So it will never be State versus Thabo Bester, because he was added into the case after 8 people had been added before him. I hope that now makes sense.
So there's a little bit of a change now there, Mutusi, because when the matter was at the regional court, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sinohe Matswara was accused number 1. Nandipha, if my memory serves me well, was accused number 4. But today she's number 1. What could have been the changes there?
It's probably because of how they typed the indictment, the manner in which they typed the indictment. Kuri, at district court and regional court level, it's about who got arrested first.
Yeah.
And then the indictment gets typed. Guys, it doesn't really matter who becomes accused number 1. You're going to be addressed as an individual. Your involvement will be addressed as an individual. The sentence that you're going to get is going to be addressed to you as an individual and nothing else. You see what Tandolwetu said earlier, Bradeni, we must appreciate Tandolwetu, honestly speaking. My brother, we appreciate you. You are teaching us so much about prison processes. When you came in the first time, you said you are the expert in this thing. I believe you 100%, because the information that you are giving us is valuable, is what do you call invaluable. I don't know if I said the correct English word, but it kore aina thaka, this thing. Growing up in a village, sometimes you don't know how to say words that can actually express what you want to say. But the issue of food, just like the previous speaker said, you cannot, guys, you cannot raise that at court, that your person is not eating and so on. There's prison heads, there's commissions in prisons, there's so on and so forth. That's where they should go and raise these things with his legal representative, not at court. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mutusi.
And to add on that, Mutusi, one thing I like about this show live is that we educate each other. Remember when Tifo complained to Maumela, and Maumela said, "This is the wrong place to bring this matter here. I don't decide who gets placed where who is moved from one prison to another. It is correctional service that does that. Take that matter to correctional service. Kamrata, there was a squabble in court because they are told how to sit. Rata says, this man has been given instruction by who? Correctional service, in ensuring that these guys sit the way they are supposed to sit, behave the way they are supposed to behave. If you've got issues, correctional service. Today, the issue of food, who understand Bester's died. It is correctional service. That matter is brought before court. It must be taken to correctional service. They know about this tide. They must explain, and the head of correctional service or prison, they must take charge of that. It must be reported there. So it's about following correct channels of where to report what. You don't need to be a lawyer to understand some of the processes, but you can learn through court processes. Like, for an example, I look at Jonas and I go like, Jonas obviously understand most of the processes within the legal framework because he has been there. So the process is just like that. So I think it was just a wrong matter before the judge in Bloemfontein.
Thank you, Official Minister. Okay, guys, if you still want to also add your inputs, please feel free to request. But when we accept you, please mute your microphone. If you request, we accept you and you don't mute, we are going to remove you immediately. So let's check. Okay, I think there's somebody coming, and thank you for 85,000 likes, guys. Thank you for that. Usually, according to our standards, by now we should be sitting on at least 200,000 likes, but I understand we just here to deal with a side issue. Ray, is it Ray Weld? Ray Weld, good evening. Okay, Ray Weld is not coming through. Wait. Okay, there's somebody. Wait.
Brother,
Yes, Brenda.
I had that on the 12th of October. Ne? Nandipha did open an assault case against correctional service. Did she say what happened to her? Did she mention it in court as to what happened?
Not today. It was not mentioned today.
But was it mentioned at all in court?
There's a story that was mentioned last year that she collapsed. She was not treated well, but not assault. The assault, I know nothing about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Zulu girl.
Hello, can you hear me, Brenda?
Yeah, but we can.
How are you, Sis B? How are you, Brady? How are you, Official Minister Mutusi, and everyone who's informing us? You know, we are grateful. But I'm coming from a perspective of being a mother and a granny. You know, I hope we have young, pretty girls listening to this live and learning from what happened to Nandipha, because all of this stems from LOVE and loving the finer things in life and not wanting to work hard for them. What a pity that this girl went to school as a qualified doctor. It's just a shame for this to be happening to her girl. However, we all have to pay our dues and learn from our mistakes. I'm not convinced that the behavior today in court was a demonstration of, this ignoring each other and no longer being lovey-dovey. To me, it looked like a strategy from her side to even appeal for mercy with this Bible. I hope I'm wrong. I could be. However, it's just a sudden twist from being lovey-dovey to Bible and ignoring each other and, playing the pity party game with us. I hope she can learn from this and all the other young ladies can learn from this, because really it starts from loving having a champagne lifestyle with a beer budget. And coming to the representative for Bester, I think that lawyer is what Rata would refer to as lawyers who don't read, who don't research, who don't understand the law. And he was just an embarrassment today to bring those things up in court. We've learned so much from you guys, and we can even tell as lay persons like I am to say that was uncalled for. And as for Bester, he's just playing to the gallery. He's got nothing to lose. He's a charged convict. He belongs in jail, and he has nothing to lose. But for Nandipha and how he managed to leave the kids behind, and want to escape with this man, it should be a lesson to her to say, moving forward, I need to change my life. I hope to God he serves her sentence and she comes back, a changed woman of God that we saw today, and go and apologize to the kids, because these kids will know about this one day and they will maybe have resentments on her, on how could you have done this to us, leave us and run away. Did you ever think of us? So my contribution really is not about the legalities of the whole thing, but it's about the human element to say, let's all learn from this one. Even if I meet that Mkhulu Bey, who is Nandipha's dad, as I'm an old woman, and want to maybe think I met some dude who's very looking good with black shades in court, an old man like that behaving like a young boy, and who allowed this to happen under his watch when he knew that his daughter is a doctor, a medical practitioner who can make a living without killing people, without feeling sorry for the mother of that boy who was banned in Bester's room. So for me, really, I'm just appealing to whoever's listening here, take it from us older women, look after yourself, work for yourself, and don't rely on these men to do things for you. You'll become a better person. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
But they can still rely on men like me and
They don't want men like you,
Mutusi and
Brady.
official minister and Tandolwe.
They
Brady.
want an easy lifestyle, things that come with a price to pay. And
Yes.
and once these things are happening, it's everybody. Nandipha had followers, about millions of followers of young girls who are aspiring to be who she is. Now they look at this and they must learn. She looks like a sore case with that gone hairline, and that red lipstick must also go. If she's appealing to us, a red lipstick is a sign of confidence. So you can't wear red lipstick and appeal to us, honestly.
Thank you, Zulu Girl Love.
Okay. Have a great day, everyone.
But then the prosecutor told us that they are disputing everything. She never said, she said they are disputing everything there. I do believe even Bester himself is disputing that he ran away.
Yes.
Going to be interesting.
Which contradicts the hope that Zulu Girl Love just spoke about, because if you are remorseful I don't know, maybe Mutusi might offer a different opinion, but my view is that if you are indeed remorseful and you want to be a changed woman, you wish that one day you can go back to your children and explain yourself, you would start by pleading guilty to everything. But again, it can be argued that she has received legal advice which says to her that there's no evidence, worry less. But for me, I would further say that is the same legal advice that would have misled her into making a civil application to the High Court to try and declare her arrest in Tanzania unlawful. For me, that was wrong legal advice. We've said it many times that she's not going to succeed in that application. So if it is the same people who are giving her the same advice that no, you can challenge this thing, you can be discharged from all these charges, we're not gonna see a changed woman anytime soon. And like you say, a red lipstick, it's a sign of confidence. So I guess she's confident about the case. Mutuzi.
Pradeni, you can't equate a plea of guilty to a sign of remorse. There's a High Court judgment that says pleading guilty is a central factor. It's pleading guilty is one of the pleas that you can say I am guilty, you can say I am not guilty. You can even plead by saying that the charge sheet was not properly formulated, that the prosecutor does not have the title to prosecute. There's a number of pleas that you can come in with. What is it that you do prior to you being convicted? Ne? What is it that you do prior to you being convicted is a sign of remorse. Everything that happens after you have committed the offense will determine whether you are remorseful or not. For an example, if there's a car accident and you drove and hit somebody with a car, and the person is injured, and you take them to the hospital yourself, ne? That is a sign of remorse. That's what you did before anybody held you accountable.
Yes.
If you break into somebody's house and the following day you know that they're looking for their things and you come in and you say, guys, these are the things that I stole here, I am sorry. That is a sign of remorse. Mare you go to ShopRite, you steal a chocolate, and then you get arrested at the door and you say, but yeah, that's not remorse.
Yes.
It's because you are caught.
Yes.
People plead guilty because there's enough evidence that they've got no way around. There's no technicality that can assist them. And then they plead guilty and they go to court and they say that is a sign of remorse. It is not. Whether, Zulu Girl Love spoke a mouthful. The first thing that I thought when this lady was arrested, after realizing that she had a ring in her finger, I was like, Ish, I'm very worried about this lady's husband. Because it is the surname, it is not Sikeleni that is there.
Yes.
It is Magudumana. And Magudumana is not this lady's maiden surname.
Yes.
She can, at any time after the divorce, go and change her surname, become a new person. We will remember the face, but we will know that was Nandipha Magudumana. This is a new person. So we must also now be careful on who are we dating and so on as young boys, because we may end up being in trouble in the future because of the choices of women that we make. I came in on that issue of the plea to say, remember guys, everyone has a right to plead however they want. Now, a lawyer or an attorney who does not have confidence is the one who goes to court without a version, which is what is happening in this case. They are going there, they are not admitting to anything, they are not disputing anything. They are just saying the state must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. You know, in terms of Section 115 of the Criminal Procedure Act, once you have pleaded guilty, once you have pleaded not guilty, the Criminal Procedure Act says you have an opportunity to give us an explanation on why you are saying you are not guilty. And if you're in your explanation, there are things that you are admitting, those can then be converted into admissions in terms of Section 220 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Now, in a situation where a person goes there and says not guilty, and then they're asking, but any explanation? No explanation. This is going to be the longest trial you can ever think of, because they must call everyone and prove every little thing. They're also going to prove that Thabo Bester was actually detained in cell number what, and on the day that they went to check, he was not there. You see that thing at the occurrence book? You're going to see a lot of it popping in this case to say when was the last time they checked, was he still there, and so on and so forth. Those are the things that they're going to start looking at. Yeah.
Thank you, Muthusi.
Muthusi, there is a question here from Lindy where L. She says, what does it take for one to be a state witness?
If you are not the person we are looking for, by we now I'm saying prosecutors, if what it takes is your attorney to make a deal. If you were involved but not actively involved, you know, the best person who can be a state witness in this case is this Moyo guy, because his involvement in the matter is not that much. The father to Nandipha can also become a state witness because his involvement in the matter is not that much. The state withdrew a case against the lady that was accused number 3, that security guard,
Anastasia.
Yes, Anastasia. They withdrew against Anastasia. It could be that they went and took a statement from her and made her a state witness. We do not know. You become a state witness by testifying on what you have seen. If you were an accused and they convert you into being a state witness, then you are going to be a state witness in terms of Section 204 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Now, Section 204 is a bit complicated, guys, because it says you are an accused. We know that there's charges against you. We've got enough evidence to pin you down in this matter. But the evidence that we have is against you and not Muthusi. And we want to get to Muthusi. So if you give us information on Muthusi's involvement here, what is it that Muthusi did? And what is it that you did yourself? In the process of testifying as a 204 witness, you are going to incriminate yourself big time. You are going to say every wrong thing that you did, every wrong thing that everybody else did, with a hope that the director of public prosecutions will not turn against you and say they want to prosecute you afterwards because you may have hidden one or two things. Because the fact that you are a 204 witness does not mean you cannot be prosecuted. But if you were to be prosecuted, you would be prosecuted separately, away from the other accused persons, and they may turn state witnesses against you in that instance. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, is it that one of Aglioti Muthusi? Was it 204, the one that Aglioti got for Silibi?
Yes. Adlioti is that guy who used to give Silibi money, and Silibi was living large without touching his salary. Yes.
Yeah, so he got 204.
That's correct, yes.
And I agree with you, Muthusi, and I think this is something that we need to discuss extensively. Not that we are helping criminals, but we are talking legal matters. When you're saying the lawyers who go to court without a version, those are your kind of lazy lawyers. I don't know if people are properly advised on these options that they have. The 204s, the 205s, and we can make a comparison to Bongani Ntanzi. I mean, personally, where I'm sitting, I'm still of the strong opinion that Bongani Ntanzi had the perfect legal advice from Dominic Njiako and the perfect intentions to try and secure a minimum sentence for Ntanzi, which
But
is
he was gonna die.
yes.
See, that's the problem, Brad.
Yes, with Ntanzi it was that complicated. I think we need to acknowledge that that his situation was a bit more complex. But I think there are situations where there aren't those much complexities. Like in this case, Thabo Bester has got nothing to lose. And I think between him and Nandipha's father and Bosinohe Matwara, I mean, they can all agree that, guys, we cannot protect Bester. This man is saving a life. I don't know. Can't one of them consider those options? What kind of a legal advice could they be receiving? Like those are the questions that I'm asking myself.
They will die. If I'm telling you, Braden, this is how this case is very complicated. You know, we need to acknowledge something here, that during the time and the era of the escape, or the time leading to the escape of Thabo Bester, we had a lot of cash in transit cases reported from G4S specifically. There's a lot of people involved here. And there's a chance that even politicians are involved in this thing. Involved in a manner that says we're going to we need money to do that and that for the upkeep of whatever organizations that we may be running, or for the upkeep of their own life. It's not easy to turn into a 204 witness, because once you become a 204 witness, chances are you are also going to be put under witness protection.
Yes.
Like that lady in the case of Ace Mahashule. They will move you out of the country for you to go and stay somewhere else. But unfortunately, witness protection may only last you for as long as the case is. As soon as conviction follows, they will ask you, do you feel safe? No, okay, sharp, we're extending it for a year. Do you feel safe? And when you are in witness protection, you are like it's like you are in prison yourself. You don't speak to a lot of people. You don't get to meet your family members and so on. So people are afraid of going for such things. Somebody asked the question here, don't these people sign documents that say what I'm testifying about cannot be used against me? There is such a deal that says what I'm going to tell you now. That's what 204 is about, actually. 204 is, you must read it, Section 204 of Act 51 of 1977. They're saying we've got evidence against you, but we're not going to use it against you. But there's a condition. You're going to tell us everything. Everything. And if you leave anything behind and we suspect you are lying about one or two things, then you are in trouble because we are coming for you. On this evidence that we are having, not on what you are going to tell us in the new things. Yeah. That should be it.